Hi guys, William Quang here from the SA Running Injury Clinic and the Adelaide Hill Pain Clinic. We've got Bridget here.
Hi.
And today we're going to talk a topic which lots of people ask when they come into our clinic. Probably one of the most common shoes that we see in the clinic is the Asics Kayano. Now, the Asics Kayano is a very popular shoe for various reasons. First reason, Asics have a very big name in the sporting footwear world. They have the reputation of being the best shoe. We'd probably say that there's a lot of other shoe groups which are equally as good, but Asics are very, very good. And when they think of the best shoe brand, they also think the most expensive shoe in their catalogue is always the best one. So we're just going to discuss a bit about the Asics Kayano.
Yeah, so in terms of the technology, Asics are really well known for their gel. So anytime someone thinks Asics, they think Asics gel, and gel under the feet I think is something that we'd all like because it's nice and soft and squishy. The gel in a Kayano sits in the heel and at the front of the foot. So you do have a lot of gel, more than any of the other supportive Asics that are on the market. The Asics Kayano also has a little bit of what's called dual density, and that just has a little bit of arch support built into the midsole through there. So it's called Duomax with Asics. That's just their patented name for it. Often it's like a different colour or it's speckled all the way through there, and that just gives you a little bit of arch support just to stop some over rolling in from occurring.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts? Do you think the Asics... just so everyone knows, also Bridget did work at the Athlete's Foot for 5 years before becoming a podiatrist. So,
okay, so yeah. I would often have people come in and ask me, "Oh, what's the best shoe?" And my response would be, if we had that one best shoe, we would just stock that one. So the Asics Kayano is a great option, but there is definitely a lot of contenders that give it a good run for their money these days. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's got a lot of nice structure and heel support as well as some midfoot support as well. But there are other options that are cheaper and will go up against it any day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say are the strengths? You mentioned the support and structure. Was there anything else you'd probably say about it?
The fitting has changed slightly. They do come in different widths, which is a good option, but Asics widths in general are a little bit different to other brands. So just depending on the fit of your foot, if you have a little bit more of a slimmer foot, they're generally a little bit better for you. But if your feet are a little bit broader, sometimes they can be a little bit restricting in the forefoot.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I have heard from a lot of patients, we give them the list. We give them about 12 different shoes which can compete against the Asics Kayano, and they do choose the Kayano a lot just basically because of the way it feels. So the Asics shoes do feel really, really good when you first walk out the door. If there is one thing that, in terms of patients, what patients say are negatives about the Kayano, particularly, probably not so much now, but definitely five years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, was that the actual shoe wore out very fast.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was treating some of the AFL players over in Melbourne, they all bought the Kayano, and all these guys were all about 80 to 100 kilos, and they would only get 3 months out of it, and definitely they wouldn't even last that 2 or 3 months period in the preseason just because they were bigger, heavier guys. So what is it like now? Is it a bit tougher?
Very similar.
It's still a fast range shoe. So if there was one criticism I would have about the Kayano is the speed of the wear, but in general, a really quite good shoe.
Yep.
Yeah. And other shoes on the market which would go up against it?
Yeah, so when you walk into, say, a store like the Athlete's Foot, it'll have plainly on the wall for you the different categories of footwear. So there's cushion, guidance, stability, and motion control. The Kayano fits into the stability category, and all the shoes that will be in that category as well. There'll be the Brooks Adrenaline. The Adrenaline is a little bit more supportive than the Kayano in terms of the arch. The Brooks also have a gel-based cushioning as well, though. So if you like that plush feeling underneath your feet, the Brooks is the way to go for that sort of option. They sit cheaper than the Kayano as well, and what sits cheaper again would be the Mizuno Inspire. They fit firmer at first feel, and that's what sort of throws people off with Mizuno, but when you start to use them at impact, they get really springy, and they're the lighter of the three as well.
Yeah, and then there's ones by New Balance,
1260.
1260. Yeah, I'm actually wearing 1260. I wore them on my walk with my dog this morning, so I have them, but I've also worn the Adrenalines for 4 years.
Yep.
So I've had them all, tried them all. Nike have the Odyssey. So there's quite a lot. Each have their pros and cons. Some like the people will have their choice in terms of price and the look. People like the Nike tick, of course. So really, just try them all. But the Asics Kayano is a good shoe. Okay, I wouldn't say it's the best shoe, but it's a very, very good shoe.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add about that?
That's about it.
Yeah.
When it comes down to weight of them, they're a fairly light shoe, but jelly is a little bit denser, so you do have that extra weight with something like an Asics or a Brooks shoe. When you head to brands like New Balance, Saucony, Mizuno, they're foam or plastic base for their cushioning, so they are a little bit lighter as well.
Yeah. At the moment, I'm running in the Saucony Hurricanes, which is another competitor to the Kayano, and I find them really, really light. That's what I like about them.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what I would like to do is every month, hopefully, just do another shoe review. But next week, we'll probably touch upon how we use dry needling for heel pain. So we'll show a bit of demo for that.
Cool.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.